sign up for our baseball. Yes, that's right. Our baseball fantasy league. It's Sideline Fans right here on the hat. Sideline Fans right here on the hat. Sideline Fans Baseball League on ESPN. And you can catch it on the homepage of the YouTube channel under community in one of the latest posts. It has the link, and so you can sign up right there and get the information. But we will be going through the latest baseball news, so you can get up to date on what's going on baseball. Christian Walker has an oblique injury, awaits further imaging after ultrasound. Christian Walker said Thursday he had an ultrasound on his left oblique and is holding off on more imaging until inflammation eases, per team reports. Walker was scratched from Wednesday's game because of the injury. So he is just waiting on that. Brandon Nimmo's knee MRI reveals inflammation. A lot of inflammation, a lot of oblique here. Probably some of the biggest news is really not in baseball. It was Bosa being released by the Chargers today. What's up? Eli hits bombs. Hey, Eli, we are talking baseball. Eli, if you go to our YouTube channel, we have the information. You got to join our baseball league, Eli. We have a baseball league, a fantasy baseball league. You got to join, dude, because obviously Eli hits bombs. And didn't you used to have a baseball photo in there? So join. It's on our YouTube homepage underneath the community section. Let's see here. I'm just looking for bigger names. Alex McFarland, named to Philly spring breakout roster, is slated for Philadelphia's March 14th spring breakout game against Pittsburgh prospects, per team reports. McFarland, 23, was sidelined all of 2024 after Tommy John surgery in September of 2023. Prior to that, he posted a 5.84 ERA, 171 whip, blah, 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 blah. His spring breakout spot hints at a full recovery for 2025. It says here, fantasy managers and dynasty leagues might eye this righty as a deep stash. His arm's unproven for redraft yet, so just be on the lookout. Scott Kingery, in contention for Angels shortstop gig. Kingery is battling for the Angels starting shortstop while Zach Nato heals from off-season shoulder surgery. Kingery sat out. There was a Kingery that played for the Mariners back in the day. Maybe that's a Fleur Utslag. Hello, I am the only one. Yes. We have baseball news. Vladimir Guerrero locked in at number 2 spot for 2025. The Blue Jays manager said Guerrero will bat second this season, with Anthony Santander from Baltimore slotted third. All right, so he's Sophia Martinez. I recognize that name. Yes, I need more. Invite your friends. I have 18. I have 23 on YouTube. Don't forget, on YouTube, we have a fantasy baseball league. The information is on the channel homepage on YouTube under community, I believe. It's the latest post. Sign up. Dre's is on TikTok. What's up, Dre's? Dre's and Eli Hits Bombs were here today. You guys got to go to YouTube and sign up for our fantasy baseball league. It's on ESPN. It'll be going all season long. We can't wait for it. I'm very excited. The draft is March 16th. It'll be online. So we are very excited. Myself, and I. Hey, what's going on? Sophia Martinez. Me name. It's Camilla. Hey, Camilla. Although it says Sophia Martinez. Oh, Bo Bichette eyed for leadoff or cleanup in 2025. Now, boy, that's a drastic change there. Anyway, don't forget, yes, I know that we have 16 now, Fleur. We need more people over on YouTube. We need more people on TikTok. We're simulcasting this, but we do have a live stream or a fantasy baseball league on YouTube on the homepage. So hit that subscribe button. If you're on TikTok, hit that follow button so you know when I'm live. hit that like button on both channels, and definitely go over to YouTube and join our fantasy baseball league. It'll be going on all season long. It's via ESPN. I really can't wait for it. Please say Fleur. Fleur. It's Fleur, right? It's like French, right? No, now 16. Yes, you don't have to update me. I can see the numbers on my screen as well. But Fleur is over on YouTube. Join that YouTube or join the Fantasy Baseball League. All right. Bo Bichette, though. Vlad Guerrero is second. Anthony Santander from Baltimore is third. So Bo Bichette, who was the number 2 hitter, will be batting either first or fourth, which is crazy, nudging George Springer from his usual leadoff perch. Fantasy managers can count on Bichette's bat, thriving either way. His flexibility keeps his values steady. That lineup for Toronto has really gone up. Say Bloom. Bloom, I guess. Oh, it's Netherlands. Oh, Netherlands. Okay, I get it now. Let's see, what else do we have here? We are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. Don't forget to sign up. If you're on TikTok and you see that code below me, the QR code, you can get, you can take my class. I think it's like $9 or $10 on fantasy baseball. So you can get ready for your fantasy baseball draft. The QR code is on TikTok. That information, I don't think it's on YouTube. I'll have to put the QR code up eventually on YouTube, but I like to go live during the days. Let's see what other news. George Springer will be in the leadoff role, or his leadoff role is in question. He's going to be batting probably 5th, I guess. He's not going to be in the top spot, so I guess he'll rotate with Dante Bichette on either the leadoff or cleanup spot. Yeah, but I am going to leave. I am going to my bed. You're going to bed, but Fleur is French. Okay. So you have like Netherlands and French. You have quite the history there. Thank you, Fleur, for listening to us. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're watching. Don't forget to join our fantasy league. Let's see other big names going on today. I could just roll with the players' names, I guess, which is kind of boring. Ty Patton. Oh my God, we're talking France. I can't read French, guys. I can barely speak English half the time. So, okay, Jake Eder, or maybe it's Eder, assigned to AAA Charlotte by the White Sox. He's not coming up. A lot of White Sox. Chen Zong Ao. Wow, Zong. Slated for A's spring breakout roster. I guess they have these breakout teams now. Landon Knack preps as starter with relief role in play. He has been stretching out as a starter. Wow. Okay. Though a long relief spot could be his landing place per team reports. Wow. All right. Landon Knack stretching out to be a starter. Any other big names here outside of Guerrero now batting second rather than third for Toronto and Santander? Clayton Kershaw progressing well in recovery. So he had a knee and foot injury. Clayton Kershaw said he is progressing well. I just said that in recovery from foot and knee surgeries. Fantasy impact is Kershaw added that he has thrown off a mound a couple of times. It's not 100% yet, but it's getting there. Feels good, he said. Kershaw is targeting a return to the mound in May, which means he will miss. Yes, agreed. He will miss opening day. Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees has an elbow injury. He's expected to rejoin the Yankees this weekend. Yankees GM Brian Cashman, who still somehow has a job, said Giancarlo Stanton, didn't he go by like Mike back in the day or something, had a second round of PRP injections in New York and is expected to rejoin the Yankees this weekend. What is the fantasy impact? The fantasy impact is, Cashman added that Stanton won't be able to do much in terms of baseball activities. Wow, that's great. He still seems likely to open the season on the injured list. So when it says that he'll be joining the team this weekend, maybe he's just going to be sitting on the bench. Drew Romo, I'm assuming no affiliation to Tony Romo, thank God. Hopefully he won't be announcing any games. Will Smith has a knee injury, but returns to catch on Thursday. Will Smith will start at catcher and hit sixth in Thursday's Cactus League for the Dodgers against the Rangers. St. Martin. Okay. Did you know Netherlands and France have a direct border? Oh, St. Martin is what you're telling me. We're getting a little geography over here on YouTube, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button no matter where you're watching us. And if you join or sign up or sign in on YouTube, you can sign up for our fantasy baseball league. It's under the community header on the Sideline Fans page on YouTube. Definitely everyone is invited. There is no fee. Beto's here. Hey, Beto, how's it going? We are just talking a little baseball now. Not any huge news. I'm looking for big names here. Okay, Alec Burleson of the Cardinals to skip outfield duties this spring. Alec Burleson won't see outfield time this spring, instead focusing on designated hitter and first base roles per team reports. What kind of impact? Beto, thank you for the lightning bolts. I do appreciate it. You are a great person. I appreciate that. Burleson's the impact of this for fantasy is Burleson's been an outfielder for most of his big league starts, but with Jordan Walker sidelined a week by a knee tweak, he's still locked in as a primary DH against right-handers and will mix in at first when Wilson Contreras takes DH reps. Fantasy managers can peg him for a decent pop in deeper leagues. His bat stays relevant despite the position shift. So it looks like Alec Burleson will be doing first base and DH, will not be out in the outfield for the Cardinals. No huge surprise there. Wilson Contreras is, I guess, the everyday or most of the time first baseman for the Cardinals. All right, we have a couple. DJ LeMahieu. Is he still with the Yankees? LeMahieu's facing at least a couple of weeks off baseball duties. Opening day is a no-go, though he's still waiting to hash out a full timeline with the team doc. Cabrera is poised to step in at third base. Fantasy manager should ease him. Hey, Beto, thank you for the confetti. I appreciate that. Don't forget, everybody, we do have a fantasy baseball league over on ESPN. If you sign into YouTube and look under the community topic or headline, whatever you want to call it, you can get all the information there. I should make it easier. Maybe on my next live stream, I'll do that. Let's see. Salvador Perez with Kansas City has an eye injury Wednesday. Salvador Perez was removed from Wednesday's game early against the Mariners with a laceration under his left eye. It appeared to be a precautionary move by KC. There should be another update on the status at some point later in the week. You know, Salvador Perez was listed as a catcher. I think he's like catcher, first base, and DH. So he can play multiple positions, but man, when you could put him in at catcher, he would hit 40 home runs or 35 plus. I mean, he was the difference maker in a few teams I had. Let's see. A bunch of people assigned to minor league camp by the Tigers. I'm just looking for bigger names here. Edward Cabrera. Did we have another Cabrera earlier? That's a very baseball name, isn't it? Cabrera. Max Scherzer to likely make next start Saturday. Max Scherzer is expected to make his next start in one of two Blue Jays split squad games on Saturday against the Tigers. Boy, Scherzer's played for a ton of teams. But he came up with Arizona. He played for the Nationals. He played for Texas. He had a little stint with, he played for Detroit, I believe. He had a little stint with the Mets. Scherzer and Bowden, Francis, are expected to start the two split squad games. Francis had been pitching behind Scherzer in their previous two appearances. So it looks like Scherzer is going to be pitching. Let's see here. Steven Matz will make his next start on Saturday against the Nationals. Matz allowed one run on 2 hits over 3 innings in his last start. He is starting to continue to be slowly built. Let's just see. Steven Matz of the Cardinals. Miles Michaelis to start Friday. Ho! Miles Michaelis will make his next start on Friday against the Astros. Michaelis allowed 2 runs on 3 hits across 2 2/3 innings. 2 runs and 3 hits. So 2 runs and 2 2/3 innings. Not very good by Miles. He'll likely be going another 2 or 3 innings in this start. All right. So the Cardinals pitching looks about as bad as it usually does. Gunnar Henderson's opening day status cloudy. Orioles manager Brandon Hyde said Wednesday that Gunnar Henderson's availability for the March 27th season opener in Toronto, which, let's face it, Toronto's a whole different team with the players they picked up this year, at least from an offensive standpoint. And I guess with Max Scherzer in the mix, opener in Toronto remains uncertain due to a mild intercostal muscle strain. Intercostal muscle strain. I got to Google that one. Never heard of that. Like, football players don't have these kinds of injuries. Football players are just playing through, I think, some of this stuff. But Henderson, 23, has been on the mend since tweaking his side last Thursday. But the Orioles are playing it safe. Hyde's very, very hopeful he'll be ready, though a Grapefruit League, that's Florida, return isn't close. No long-term absence looms, but the iffy start could slide him a few draft spots. Fantasy managers should still lock in his star upside, just with a cautious eye. So it looks like he might be almost a sleeper. Like, people might not even be thinking of Gunnar Henderson, or he might drop in the drafts, but that he'll probably still have a good season. Andrew Kittredge of Baltimore underwent an MRI on his left knee and will seek several opinions after persistent soreness kicked in over the weekend. Ooh, persistent soreness. Try being in your 50s. Oh, we are live. Nathaniel is on the board on YouTube. We're on TikTok too, Nathaniel. Kittredge, a veteran reliever, has logged just 1 spring outing so far. And while there's still time to gear up for opening day, if the knee checks out, his status hangs in limbo until the verdict drops. All right. All right. Let's see if we have any other new news. New news, as they say on the Heights podcast. I don't think there's any huge news. Did I miss any? Alec Burleson to skip outfield duty. That's not that exciting of the Cardinals, because any Cardinal player really isn't all that exciting. Let's be really honest with you. They're not going to be any good this year. All right. What else do we have? Nathaniel, what else do we have here? Giancarlo Stanton, I think, has some sort of injury. Yes, I saw your quote, and I put it in the book. I did take off the first part because you had the first sentence that talked about baseball. I just eliminated that because it's just a football book, but I appreciate it. But yes, I saw that. Thank you. I knew it'd be okay if I just took that sentence out. Sorry to do that to you. I didn't check with you, but I figured we know each other so well. What is this spring breakout roster? Is that something they're doing with, like, for spring that's different this year? Like, these are some of the top young guys or something? Bo Bichette, eyed for leadoff. George Springer, leadoff or cleanup spot. All right. Anybody want to talk any specific players in fantasy baseball or baseball in general? All right. Nick Lofton is back at third for the Royals. He had a wrist injury, but he starts at third base today in the Cactus League against the lowly Chicago Cubs. And I say lowly Chicago Cubs because I'm a Cardinals fan, and that's just the adjectives I put in front of. I guess it's actually an adverb because it ends in ly, but that's what I just say about the Cubs. Although I don't hate the Cubs. I was a Ryan Sandberg fan growing up because I played second base. But Nick Lofton is playing third base for the Royals against the Cubs today. Lofton, 26, shook off wrist soreness that sidelined him Sunday and is swinging hot, 6 for 11 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs over 6 spring games, boosting his case for an opening day roster spot. Fantasy managers in deeper leagues might eye him as a utility stash, his bat's making noise if he secures a role. So he's one of those guys, like if you're in like 12 or more teams, maybe you have to think about Nick Lofton, but they're not saying he's going to make a big splash, 10 and smaller team leagues. Nimmo playing just one Grapefruit League game last Friday. This is Brandon Nimmo, and was set to return earlier this week, but held off, saying Thursday that he's waiting for the last 10% of knee soreness to fade. I wonder how he measures 10% knee soreness alongside lingering left foot plantar fasciitis. Oh, that's a horrible one. That's something that never goes away. He's still on track for opening day, barring hiccups. Ooh, I hope he doesn't get the hiccups. Be tough to bat if he had the hiccups, I think. Fantasy managers can keep him slotted as a steady outfield bat. His health's close enough to lock in. Let's just look up Nimmo's. It is Nimmo. The shirt order got canceled. It did get canceled? Okay, I got to deal with them. This is so weird. I'm sorry about that. Spotify or Shopify is such an annoying pain in the butt. Nimmo had 23 home runs, 90 RBIs. I'll look that up, dude. He batted 224 last year. He batted 274. Okay, so he hasn't been great. He's a guy that doesn't hit for a high average. The short order got canceled. I got to check into that. I thought when I checked with them, they said they shipped it. It doesn't make any sense. Such a pain. I'm going to stop dealing. Does Will Campbell fall past the 10th pick? Fall past the 10th pick. Well, that's a very good question. If I could type right. Let me look up the numbers here. Oh, we're talking football. Yeah, he probably does, because they probably have, they're probably going to pick Shedeur and Cam Ward early. So that gives you 7, 8 without this guy. So I'm guessing he falls past the 10th pick, actually. All combine and draft. Yeah, the NFL is such a crapshoot. Yeah, well, before you reorder, I got to figure things out with them. That's annoying. The NFL draft is such a crapshoot. You just never know what you're going to get. Like, you completely don't know. You're picking up players that may never really see the light of day, which is just crazy to think about. Why doesn't this? Yeah, I mean, it's so weird, the NFL draft, because these guys might not do anything. But let's see. Get the weirdest. Everybody wants to talk football. Whenever I get on here, everybody wants to talk football. When I was on yesterday, Nathaniel, if you're still around, it was like people still wanted to talk football. I think I made a mistake by saying DK Metcalf was asking for a trade, though. So I kind of probably brought it up, but just one of those things. And then I get a bunch of people on and then they jump off. I mean, I put in that, hey, let's talk baseball. I don't know. Maybe they look at my face and go, ugh, I don't want to talk to him. I mean, that's all I can really figure at this point. I mean, I know enough about baseball. I do butcher all the names, though. Like this guy here, I'm never going to get his name right. Chen Zong Ao Zhuang, and then Haro Irarte, right? Yeah, my face is the best when I'm trying to pronounce these things. I really try to do it. My problem is I don't watch enough. I listen to things, like I listen to like the radio or I read things, so I don't hear the names as much. And then I realize, oh, I have to say that name. Landon Knack. That one sounds easy enough. Has been stretching out as a starter this spring. I think he's still with LA, right? Yep, he's still with LA. Yeah, they have him down now as a starting pitcher. So some people are going to be changing some positions, which is always good for fantasy because you can get that. I don't know. You can get that multiple position. It's always kind of nice when you have a starter, an SPRP in fantasy baseball. And if they're like a starter, you can put them in the RP position and still get their start if you're loaded with starting. I don't know. There's many ways. I played a lot of fantasy. I did a lot of crazy things back in the day where I'd be drafting a new pitcher like every single day just to get more strikeouts and possible wins. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I do fantasy basketball now. Like I have 3 teams, and really fantasy basketball is just all it is who's playing tonight, and let me make sure they're in the lineup. And it seems like I don't know who gets injured more, baseball players or basketball players. I think on the 3 teams I have, all 3 teams have at least 3 players on IL. Like, not that I scam the system, like they're legitimately on the IL. My first Yankee game this season, I'm going to do a day in the life of like basically transportation. Oh, that's a good one, dude. Yeah, it's going to be heavy on the editing, but I like it. I like that idea. My day in the life of going to my first Yankees game, day in the life of going to this year's first Yankee game. That is what me and Eitan also do. You are what? Do you are not one of a kind with the picture strategy? What? What picture strategy? What was I talking about? That is what me and Eitan also do. You are not one of a kind with the picture. Oh, okay, fine. I didn't say that I was one of none when it came to my picture strategy. Yeah, I like that. That's good. You know what you really should do though for your first baseball game is not just because here's the thing, if you go alone, and I know that you go alone and your safety does worry me, but you'll be filming, holding whatever you use to hold your camera. But what you should do is go with like a buddy or a parent or your brother and have them filming you too. So you have 2 different angles of everything. So you don't just have like the pitching coach you're talking to, but someone has you talking to the pitching coach, so you can really have different angles, but maybe someone isn't able to go to the game, so you can't do that. But I think that's a great idea. A day in the life of, I should do a day in the life of just getting to a Cardinals game. The Cardinals had a package and I almost paid for it, but I don't like the fact that it's standing room only because then you might be stuck standing the whole time. But if you pay $49 a month, you can go to every Cardinals game for $49 a month. I'm like, that's probably a pretty good deal because you figure they probably have at least 10 to 15 games a week or month, at least. And so if you do the math, it comes out to like $4 or $5 a game. You can't beat those prices. Now it is standing room only, but I love that. I will DJ in that with my brother. Oh, you'll be doing it with your brother. That's a good idea. Yeah, the Cardinals had $49 a month during the season, standing room only tickets. You can go to every single game except like opening day. And I don't even care about opening day really, because opening day to me is like all the fair weather fans come out for opening day because they've been doing it for 20 years, or, they just don't go to any other games, or they're just there to see like the Budweiser Clydesdales on the field or whatever the case is. And I went 2 years ago and people were like smoking vapes up in the seats. And I'm like, I don't want to go to opening day anymore. And it's packed. It's so packed. And everybody's drunk by game time because they've been pre-partying the whole time. Oh, for the Yankees, it's 150 a month, huh? So other teams are doing this. That's kind of why I brought it up. So I guess other teams, and so if you really want to go to games, I guess teams are doing something where you can pay like a subscription every month. You get standing room only tickets for a specific price. Nathaniel, my buddy who's in New York, says it's $150 a month. In St. Louis here for the Cardinals, it's $49 a month. So it's a pretty good deal, and I would do it. The only problem really is, okay, I don't want to drive there because then parking starts to get expensive. It's like it would end up costing me more to park than it would for the tickets. I would take Metrolink, which is like our mass transit system. I could do that. I live close to one of the stations, but then you have to deplane or get off at a certain station. I could do that. And then I could get a pass to Metrolink. I just don't know that I want to go to that many games. Like if I go to 1 or 2 a month, that's fine. And I don't mind getting a good seat. Although standing room only, you can get decent seats if you know where all the spots are to stand. You really can. You got to stand the whole time. But what you do then is when you want to take a break, you might lose your spot, but you can go sit in the seats around where, people eat and all that. So, all right, everybody. I've been on for about 30 minutes. Maybe I'll go live tonight and see if I get any change, but in anything. But I'm trying to go live a little bit more during the day just to see what the response is. So with New York, I can just take a train there and I'm right there without paying for parking. Yeah, but you got to pay for the train. I got to pay for the train, but I actually have to like get to the train station, which is like a mile away. Now, I guess I could walk there. It might be a mile and a half. I don't know. Might just be a mile, but I don't really, it's like through neighborhoods. I don't really want to go that way. But it's a good deal. 150 for a Yankees game isn't bad either. Like for a month. I was thinking about doing that. I didn't realize it was other teams. I think that's a good idea though, because usually on a regular game, standing room only tickets aren't sold, and you figure that someone's going to buy a soda or a hot dog or a pretzel or something else, popcorn or a shirt. So you're going to probably make a little extra money off everybody. So a good deal. They should have been doing this years ago. All right, everybody. Don't forget to hit follow and like and all that good stuff. Talk to you later. Boom, boom.